I'm Lorena, and today I want to talk to you a bit about anxiety. So, I've dealt with anxiety for as long as I can remember. I want to say that it started when I was a kid. I don't remember exactly when, I can't pinpoint it, but I do remember as a kid dealing with physical sensations and emotions and feelings that I could not define. I didn't have the words to express myself with how I was feeling, and my parents didn't understand enough about mental health and what their own anxiety was, so it was not possible for them to help me out in my struggles. But over time, as I grew older and older, I learned to identify the anxiety within me. I learned to name it, I learned to recognize it, and I learned to cope with it and battle it. So, present day, in my 30 years of age, I have a few tools up my sleeve that help me deal with anxiety. I wish I could tell you that I was 100% anxiety free. Like, I really wish that someday I will be. But right now, I'm not. I still deal with it, but my battle isn't as much of a struggle as it once was. And my hope with this video is that I can help someone else, anyone else, let go of that struggle and learn to de-escalate it and move on from it when it comes up. So today, I will be sharing 4 tips to ground you when you're feeling anxious, either when you're about to get a panic attack and you feel that anxiety bubbling up, or when it's just starting to creep up. And I would hope that you can nip it in the bud and not let it get to a point where it debilitates you like it has me, and I'm sure like it has so many people who deal with anxiety. Tip 1 is something that I already mentioned, which is recognizing and naming your anxiety. What does it feel like when you're anxious? Tune into your body, do a body scan. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like this long, involved meditation where you start from the very top and work your way down, or vice versa, to go through your chakras and all that. None of that fancy stuff. Just when you feel a little bit strange and you feel a little bit off, stop, breathe for a second, and ask yourself, what am I feeling? Oh, my heart is palpitating. My hands are shaking. I'm breathing a bit faster. I'm sweating maybe. These are all, at least my symptoms of anxiety. Once I start to feel a little bit tighter, I'm gonna clench my body, and my heart starts beating fast and my stomach starts to churn, I want to stop myself and cut myself off in my tracks so that I don't spiral out of control. So recognize it, acknowledge it, know what it feels like, so that when it happens, you can take the following steps. Tip number 2, breathe. Focus on how you're breathing. Reel yourself back in and slow down your breath. The third thing I do is I say a couple of mantras. Honestly, I've never been huge on like affirmations, mantras, but lately there's something that has sparked in me that has helped me realize that they actually are beneficial to say. So when I start feeling anxious and I've already recognized it and named it, and I already started paying attention to my breath and breathing intentionally, I look around me and I ask myself if I'm safe. If you stop and take a moment and look around, you'll realize that 99.9% of the time you are safe. So if the answer to that question, am I safe, is yes, let that sink in. I am safe. Repeat it. That's the mantra. I am safe. And since I'm safe, you go on to the second mantra, there is nothing to fear. And I have found that saying these 2 things, I am safe and there's nothing to fear, send a signal to my brain to relax. So then once my brain starts relaxing and I realize I'm safe and there's nothing to fear, my body starts to follow suit. And that intentional breathing I was doing that started to help calm me down is now compounded by the fact that I know I'm safe and I have nothing to fear. And slowly but surely, sometimes actually very quickly, I can feel my body just loosen up. And the tension that was there and the anxiety that was bubbling up starts to disappear completely. Now, the next thing that I do, tip number 4, after I've recognized and named my anxiety, after I've focused on my breathing, slowed it down and started to breathe intentionally, and after I've said my mantras, I'm safe and there's nothing to fear, the fourth thing I do is look around me again and I focus on certain things. Those certain things could be all of the green things in the room. Count how many green things there are. Count how many round things there are. What color is X, Y, Z? Doesn't matter. Just focus on whatever's around you. And that can help ground you and bring you back to the present. Another thing that helps me out a lot, like a lot, is narrating what is happening and what I'm doing to myself. So let's say I'm in the shower. I actually get triggered. My anxiety gets triggered in the shower a lot, which might sound weird, but really it isn't, because, shower thoughts. So sometimes I could be in the shower and I'm perfectly normal and I'm thinking about, how my day's been and what's going to happen tomorrow. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, tomorrow. Oh my God, I have a job interview, or baby girl has a doctor's appointment. And then my brains just start 100 thoughts per second. And then I start my exercises. I recognize it. Blase. But at the very end, I start to just narrate what I'm doing. Like, I'm scrubbing my elbow. Now I'm washing my neck. And now, I've got shampoo and I'm scrubbing my hair, or whatever you're doing. If you're not in the shower, I'm writing in my journal, or I'm looking at my computer, or I'm looking at my phone, which is another thing you might actually want to cut down on if you're trying to lower your anxiety levels. The phone, social media, no. It's okay to be on it, don't get me wrong. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's informative lots of times, but most of the time we're just scrolling through it, comparing ourselves to others, which, as I say, comparison is a killer of joy. It just increases my anxiety, at least, and it probably does the same for you. So give yourself a break from that. But whatever you're doing, just focus on what you're doing, narrate what you're doing to yourself, and that can help you get back to the present moment and focus on right now, because that's all we've got is right now. Whatever is going to come, period. Whatever already happened. The only moment that you can truly ever live for is right this moment. The one right now. And every single second, that moment passes. So you're giving up the opportunity to live your best self. Live in your best self and be your best self at any given moment, when you give your anxiety the power to let your mind wander into another place in space and time. Let that sink in. Right now is all you have. Don't worry about anything else. That's the key to being grounded. So those are my 4 tips for dealing with anxiety. If you have any other tips, feel free to leave them below in the comments. Or if you do any of these things already, feel free to let me know. I really want to help people get to a place where they're happy, because these are things that have helped me be happier in my life and be more present and appreciate things more. And if I can just help one other person do that, then I feel so gratified. My goal, my intention is to help make your life better, improve the quality of your life, and help you feel good, period. If you like this video, please don't forget to with a thumbs up. And if you want to know more about me and you want to see more videos and you want to hear my helpful tips, then please subscribe. Until next time, bye. That took a lot out of me, but it was awesome. I'm glad that I got to share that.